Good morning/afternoon, everyone. Today, I want to invite you on a journey inward to explore the significance of the month in which you were born. Beyond the simple marking of time, your birthday month holds a profound symbolic weight. It is a portal through which your unconscious mind connects with the world, shaping your inner landscape in ways both subtle and powerful. Each month of the year carries with it a distinct energy, a kind of invisible signature that resonates deeply within our being. This signature is not simply a matter of astrology or superficial traits, but rather an archetypal pattern, a universal image or motif that lives within the collective unconscious and manifests uniquely in each individual born under its influence. When you were born, the world itself was vibrating with a particular rhythm, shaped by the season, the cycle of nature, and the subtle interplay of light and darkness. This rhythm imprinted itself on your soul, planting a seed of meaning that quietly guides your journey through life. This archetypal signature is like a fingerprint of time, a profound influence that colors your personality, your instincts, and the way you relate to the world around you. It shapes the qualities you naturally embody and the challenges you are invited to face. For example, a birth in the vibrant renewal of spring might carry the archetype of the innocent child or the eternal beginner, full of hope and the promise of growth. Meanwhile, a birth in the deep stillness of winter may carry the archetype of the sage or the seeker, inviting introspection and a quest for inner wisdom. This signature also speaks to the collective rhythms that move beyond any individual life. It is a connection to the flow of time itself, the cycles that govern not only nature but the psyche as well. Just as the earth moves through its seasons, we move through our own phases of transformation, reflecting the eternal dance between birth, death, and rebirth. The month of your birth is a symbolic doorway into this larger cosmic pattern, an initiation into the mysteries of existence that unfold across the span of a lifetime. In embracing the archetypal signature of your birth month, you begin to see yourself not just as an isolated individual, but as a part of a greater story, a narrative woven by the collective energies of the universe. This awareness invites you to step into a deeper relationship with your own psyche, to recognize the forces that shape your dreams, fears, and desires, and to walk your path with a greater sense of purpose and harmony. The time of your birth is more than a marker on the calendar. It is a moment situated within the eternal interplay of light and shadow. Each month, each season, carries its own delicate balance between these two primal forces. Whether you are born in the long days of summer or the longest night of winter, your psyche has absorbed the symbolic weight of that moment, the emotional tone of the season, the hidden energies moving in the world, and the eternal dialogue between what is seen and what is unseen. Light, in its fullest sense, represents not only visibility and clarity, but also awareness, consciousness, and the warmth of life that pulls things upward toward growth and expression. It is the known world, the outer personality we cultivate, the self we show to others. Those born into the months of growing light, where days stretch longer, and the earth bursts into color, often carry within them a natural orientation toward outward energy, action, vision, and vitality. But even in these bright moments, the shadow exists, often hidden, often ignored, yet quietly shaping the path forward. Shadow, on the other hand, does not simply mean darkness or evil. It represents the hidden, the repressed, the aspects of the self that are not yet fully acknowledged. It is the unconscious, the mysterious, the fertile soil in which transformation begins. Those born into the months of waning light or deep night may find themselves more naturally attuned to this inner world, introspective, perceptive, deeply sensitive to the unseen forces within and around them. But even here, where darkness reigns, there is always a flicker of light, a guiding star in the depths, suggesting that illumination and understanding are possible. This balance, the eternal dance, lives in each of us, regardless of when we were born. Yet your birthday month can offer a particular orientation toward one side of the dance, inviting you to navigate your life through a specific lens. Some must learn to shine their light without fear, to express themselves boldly and step into the world with clarity. Others must journey into their depths, learn the language of dreams and symbols, and embrace the unknown as a place of healing and truth. But ultimately, the task is the same for all: to hold both the light and the shadow, to allow them to inform one another, and to become whole through their integration. To ignore the shadow is to live only half a life, to stay in the shallows and never plunge into the deep waters of your own being. But to remain only in the dark is to deny the possibility of growth, of movement, of becoming. The fullness of life lies in the tension between the two, in recognizing that both the radiant sun and the quiet moon have their place in your inner sky. Your birth month, then, offers you not a definition, but a doorway. It reveals where the dance began for you, whether under the bright gaze of summer or the inward pull of winter, and invites you to step fully into the rhythm of your own becoming. In learning to honor both your light and your shadow, you do not escape your fate, you fulfill it. You do not become someone new, you become more deeply yourself. There is a language far older than words, older than any script or doctrine, a language spoken in the shifting of the seasons, the blooming of flowers, the migration of birds, the stillness of snow. Nature, in its unfolding, reveals the same timeless patterns that shape the inner world of the human soul. Your birthday month is intimately woven into this symbolic fabric. The state of the earth at the moment you entered it, whether blanketed in frost or bursting into bloom, tells a story, not just about the external world, but about the energies moving within you. Each season brings with it an archetypal mood. Spring is the time of emergence, of innocence, of birth and reawakening. It speaks to the myth of the hero at the beginning of the journey, eyes wide open, unaware of the trials ahead. To be born in spring is to carry within you the freshness of possibility, the call to initiate, to create, to explore. You are touched by the mythic image of the young god or goddess, full of promise and untouched by the weight of past cycles. The world is opening its eyes again, and so are you. Summer, on the other hand, is the time of culmination. It is high noon, a moment of fulfillment, clarity, and radiant expression. In myth, this is the time of the warrior or sovereign, one who stands in the fullness of their power. If you are born during these sun-soaked months, you may find your nature leaning toward action, passion, intensity, and leadership. Yet even in this brilliance, there is a foreshadowing of decline, for the light, though full, has already begun to shorten. The myth of summer carries both triumph and the first whisper of impermanence. Autumn speaks with a different voice. It is the time of harvest, when fruits ripen and leaves fall. To be born in this season is to be marked by the myth of the alchemist, the one who transforms what has been grown into wisdom and sustenance for the soul. There is a quiet maturity in this time, a recognition that life is not endless, and that what truly matters is what can be distilled from experience. Autumn-born souls may carry an inward orientation, with a natural ability to reflect, to discern, and to prepare for what lies beyond the surface. Then comes winter, the realm of silence, introspection, and mystery. The trees are bare, the ground hard, and life retreats beneath the surface. Yet in this apparent stillness, something sacred is gestating. Winter carries the archetype of the mystic, the dreamer, the one who listens not to noise, but to the silence between things. Births in this season often signal a deep inner life, a calling towards solitude, contemplation, and spiritual insight. Winter's myth is not one of absence, but of the hidden seed, the return to essence. The renewal that comes only after death has had its say. Across cultures and through time, humanity has turned to myth to explain what nature reveals: the great cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Whether it's Persephone descending into the underworld as autumn arrives, or the phoenix rising from ashes in the spring, these stories echo the transitions we experience inwardly. The month of your birth places you within one of these symbolic cycles, not to trap you, but to guide you. It gives you a mythic context in which to understand your patterns, your struggles, and your gifts. You are not just born into a moment, you are born into a story. That story is mirrored in the sky, in the soil, in the ancient tales passed from one generation to the next. And the more you come to understand the symbols that surround your birth, the colors of the leaves, the animals stirring or sleeping, the myths whispered by your ancestors, the more clearly you come to see yourself, not as isolated or random, but as a meaningful expression of something vast and eternal. There are patterns that run deeper than memory, deeper even than personal experience. Beneath the surface of your individual life, there is a vast ocean, a timeless current in which all human beings are immersed. It is not governed by the logic of clocks or the strictness of calendars, but by the quiet, eternal pulse of being. Your birthday month is not just your own, it is shared by countless others, stretching across centuries, cultures, and histories. To be born in a certain moment is to step into a particular flow within this great unconscious stream, a rhythm that binds you to all who have ever lived under that same seasonal sky. Time, in its outer form, may appear linear one year after the next, one day leading to another. But inwardly, symbolically, time is cyclical. It turns like a wheel, repeating the great themes of existence: birth, growth, decay, and renewal. The month in which you were born marks your personal entrance into this eternal cycle. But it also places you within a deeper tapestry, one woven from shared emotional tones, collective moods, and archetypal movements that recur with each return of the season. This shared rhythm is not always visible, but it is deeply felt. You may notice it in the ways people born in your month seem to carry something familiar, a certain outlook, a shared sense of timing, even similar life lessons. This is not merely coincidence. It is the expression of the collective unconscious of time, the way in which humanity, as one great organism, experiences and repeats the psychological atmosphere of a moment. Your birthday month is an imprint of this larger consciousness, a key to understanding not only yourself, but the soul of your generation, your season, your mythic place in the story of the world. Within every culture, we find rituals, festivals, and stories bound to the turning of months and seasons. These are not just traditions, they are echoes of something far older, an ancient awareness that time carries meaning, that moments are not equal, but shaped by forces beyond comprehension. The ancients did not merely mark the passage of time, they listened to it. They knew that to be born during the planting, the harvest, the hunt, or the frost was to be stamped with the energy of that moment, not in a deterministic way, but in a symbolic one. You inherit that symbolic legacy. You may think your birthday is just a personal milestone, but it is also an ancestral chord. Every time you light candles or mark the passage of another year, you are unknowingly participating in a dance that stretches back to the earliest humans who gazed at the stars, who told stories around fires to explain the mystery of their birth and death. Time remembers, it does not forget the patterns that shaped your arrival, and within this larger field of time, your task is not merely to pass through it, but to become conscious of it, to awaken to the feeling that you are living in a particular point in a grand mosaic, and that your soul chose to enter the world at this precise moment for a reason, to carry a message, to reflect a certain truth, to contribute a piece to the evolving story of human consciousness. The deeper you go into the understanding of your birthday month, the more you begin to see that it is not just about personal identity, but about connection. It is an invisible thread tying you to the dreams, fears, longings, and strengths of others past and present who share your symbolic season. It teaches you that time is not your enemy. It is your companion, your teacher, your mirror. And so, you are not just a person with a birthday. You are a living expression of the season of your soul, part of a larger unfolding that transcends the individual and touches the timeless. There is a quiet voice that calls to us not once, but again and again, throughout the course of our lives. It does not shout, nor demand, nor impose. It whispers in dreams, in moments of solitude, in the stillness that surrounds your birthday. This voice does not belong to the outer world. It is the soul's voice, the invitation to turn inward, to pause, and to reflect. Your birthday month, returning each year like a sacred echo, is not only a time of celebration, but a threshold and invitation to self-reflection. In a world that urges constant movement, productivity, and outward achievement, the quiet rhythm of personal reflection can feel unnatural, even uncomfortable. But nature herself teaches us otherwise. Every cycle, every tree, every season rests and renews. The month of your birth returns not simply to remind you of age, but to offer you a mirror, one not made of glass, but of meaning. It asks, who have you become since last you stood here? What part of you has grown, and what part has withered in silence? What dreams have you honored, and what truths have you neglected? Self-reflection is not indulgence, it is necessity. The unexamined life drifts, while the examined life deepens. And your birthday month provides a natural pause, a symbolic turn in your inner journey, a chance to align yourself once more with your own unfolding path. You are not the same person who arrived here last year. You carry new scars, new wisdom, perhaps new regrets. The invitation is not to judge, but to listen, to look inward as one would gaze into the depths of a still lake, and to see not just what is visible, but what lies beneath. This turning inward is the beginning of self-realization. It is not about fixing yourself, for you are not broken. Rather, it is about becoming conscious of what lives within the forgotten child, the hidden artist, the sleeping seeker, the masked wound. The birthday month asks that you light a candle not for the person others think you are, but for the one you are still discovering, the one who waits quietly in the depths, behind roles and routines, asking only to be known. Time, too, plays its role. With each passing year, the sense of urgency may increase, not in a panicked way, but in a sacred one. Life is finite, and that very truth lends it beauty. The birthday is a marker of this finitude. It reminds us that we are not eternal in this form, and that reflection is not something to postpone. To reflect is to honor time. It is to say, I am awake to my own becoming. I am willing to look at my life not as a random sequence of days, but as a meaningful journey with direction and depth. In that sacred pause, you may encounter not only yourself, but the greater mystery that breathes through all things. You may begin to sense that your life is not just yours, that it belongs to something larger, something ancient and eternal. And in those moments of reflection, you may feel the pulse of that mystery, not as an answer, but as a presence, a silent companionship, a sense that you are being guided not by external forces, but by the very center of your being. So let your birthday month be more than a celebration. Let it be a sacred turning point, a moment of return to your depths, return to your truth, return to the parts of you that have been waiting patiently to be seen. For in seeing yourself clearly without illusion, without fear, you begin to participate fully in your own becoming. You begin to live, not just exist. You begin to awaken, and that is the true gift your birthday offers you each year, the invitation to come home to yourself.